What I have here is a Canadian-made machine. It's a Vitaphone, and I've done videos on other models of Vitaphones. This is a Model 40. And I like Vitaphones. They're quite unique, especially the way the reproducer works. So let's take a look at this. This company started in 1912 in the US, and then they opened up a manufacturing plant in Toronto, Canada in 1913. Some of the videos I've done have been on the American ones. This is one of the ones built in Toronto. And they have a unique feature, the way their tone arm works. At that time, Victor was suing companies who were trying to copy their tapered tone arm. And that was a really significant improvement to gramophones when they brought out that tone arm. And other companies were trying to get around those patents. This company successfully did because their tone arm is quite different. Instead of the sound traveling through the tone arm and out into a speaker or a horn, the tone arm vibrates the diaphragm of the reproducer over here. So it's a stationary reproducer vibrated by needle way over here. So when I bring you in close, you'll see what I mean. This one's also quite interesting because there's no horn attached here. You have to lower the lid because the lid is part of the horn assembly. So let's come in close and take a look at this interesting machine. This model has a really nice mahogany case, and with some of the others I've noticed, the finishes are really quite good. This company did a good job. They set a high standard for what they wanted in their finishes. And you've got the horn here. Oops, why would that open? There we go, there we go. And you can see the decal. Nice. And then let's lift the lid and see what we got inside. So there's the ID plate. Let's take a look at that. Here we go. As you can see, it's style number 40. And then we got this horn assembly. So there's the top of the reproducer. That's the reproducer there. The reproducer does not ride along the record. And you can see the top there fits into that little hole. And then there's the horn out the front. Right there. Pretty nice. So that's pretty innovative. And then we got our speed control, which is weird because it goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, as opposed to 78 and all that. And there's our brake. Well, let's look at the main part. This reproducer and tone arm. So there's the needle, and there's a heavy weight here to add weight to it. And then that tone arm vibrates, and it vibrates the diaphragm, it's hard to see, from underneath. And to make sure it's got the correct weight on it, the correct amount of tension, there's a string there, and that string leads into the cabinet where there's a weight to keep this balanced right. You can see there. All right, let's give this a try. All right, we're all wound up. What are we playing? Let's see. I don't think I'm familiar with that song. And the brake. Not very loud, but that's the thing, you gotta close the lid. Oops. So this Vitaphone's a nice machine. It's not super loud. The tonal quality is pretty good. The only thing I find weird is having to close the lid every time I want to hear the record. I kind of like having the lid open and being able to move things around, change the records easily. So I'm not sure if that's a great feature or a great way of doing it. I think it would have been nicer if the horn went through into the cabinet like some of the Victor Victrolas did. But still, rare machine.